Hello, here's Paco. Welcome to Learning with Leaders. And my guest today is Tina Emerson. She will share some very interesting insights on what she can learn from her kids when dealing with young professionals. Enjoy.
Thank you very much for being the guest in today's coaching conversations with me. And the first, let's say, sort of warm-up type question is, I know that your youngest son is 22 years old, like mine. And I'm really interested to know how and if this does affect your coaching approach.
Yeah, it's a great question, and one that makes me think immediately. I think a lot of the work that I do is probably with more experienced people, but interestingly, I do quite a lot of work with the German team, and they've got a lot of younger people, less experienced people on their team. And my son is 22 and my daughter is 27. And I think what has really helped me to connect with people who are less experienced, less corporate, less journey in them, is that I ask myself a lot, how would my son respond to that? What would my son respond to? And I can give you for instance, so I trained to be a teacher, and there is an element of a teacher in me still, one that can, with respect to all of my colleagues who are teachers, there is an instructional basis to the way that we talk with people. It's quite instructional. My son does not respond well to that because he's at the beginning of his journey, and he's excited and he's enthusiastic and he's got a lot to offer. So I've found that if I picture, and it's a coaching technique I've used for many, many years, if I can picture him in my mind's eye, a picture of him, and superimpose almost his face on somebody else, and I would talk to them and converse with them, communicate with them, engage with them in the same way that I would with him. And one of the things that he really likes is when I speak to him like I speak to his father, which is very interested, respectful, curious. Mm-hmm. He likes being conversed with as someone of interest, someone who has got something to offer, someone who's got an opinion. So I use that technique, but it is because of, and of my daughter, I use that similarly because she is a very feisty, enthusiastic woman, and she can't bear being
told.
Not asked. She wants to be asked. Because she's got so much to give. She doesn't mind if people don't take it. And I find that works with a lot of people, particularly in some of the less experienced teams that I work with, in particular in Hemsley Fraser.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Tina, let me ask another question, a follow-up question on this topic. So do you think that, what you just described to really, be at the same eye level than they are. Do you think this is a realistic scenario for less experienced people when they go into the corporate world, that they can expect this, attitude to be treated as equals as well?
I think they have every right to expect it.
True, but that was not my question, Tina.
Do they expect it? I think that they don't expect it in general. However, I think it must be incredibly refreshing when they get it. And I do believe that in a changing world, and I think that we are changing and we are starting to value the input of everyone, as opposed to the more traditional model of more experienced, more senior, paid more. I think they may not expect it. I think they possibly desire it. And certainly it would be, in my book, something to aspire to for all of us.
Yeah. So it's interesting, Tina. Thank you very much for that piece of very interesting shared experience. Although this coaching conversation is more targeted for the less experienced professionals, I think that is an excellent piece of advice for more experienced people as well, to give that attitude to the less experienced. Thank you very much, Tina. Now, what I really would be interested to know is, can you share, please, with me, what is your personal most memorable coaching experience?
Well, I'm quite old, so I've got lots. But
Tina, come on.
But the interesting thing for me is the amount of personal coaching I've had formally is small. So therefore, I've particularly sought over the years personal coaching that is less formal, from people who I admire and respect. So crossing between mentoring and coaching. The thing that really strikes me is I was doing some work for a pharmaceutical company. It was all terribly complex work. It was a project. I was involved in the design and the delivery, working with a very dear colleague. She trained as a lawyer. She's a great coach. Everyone sought her out. So I felt very privileged to be working with her. She became a very dear friend. And I think I engaged in some fake humility because it appeared to be a respectful thing for me to do at the time. She would say something and I'd say, gosh, that's very interesting, and things like that. And or she'd say something like, this is particularly complicated. And I remember saying to her, well, I probably, I'm nowhere near as bright as you. I probably won't get it in the same way that you. And she turned around to me, and we were in we'd been together 2 or 3 hours, and we probably had another hour to go. And she said to me, if you say that enough times, I will believe you. I don't currently, but I will believe you. She said, you must be very, very careful, what you want people to think of you. So she said, I don't think that you aren't bright, but if you tell me enough times, she said, you will sow the seed and I will have a bias against you when I come up against something more complex. And it's never left me, never ever left me.
Tina, again, a follow-up question. I think it is a thin line between being and showing off overconfidence and the behavior you just described. Any thought on that?
I think it's probably exactly the same thing. It's disingenuous. It's inauthentic. And both of them. I'm a great fan of confident, enthusiastic people. There has to be a firm belief that what you are saying is true, is authentic, is real, that can be backed up. Whether that is through fake humility, which I'm hoping I didn't back that up with, or with an overconfidence, which is, I feel, sometimes selling something that is like selling the air or something like that. So I think the two are very similar.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tina.